Right then, folks, I started the other week a few figures. The Scots Greys Napoleonic, which I'm making out of broken figures with broken weapons or lugs from Britain's detail, and broken horses and etc. Basically, or any odd bits lying around. This is one of the horses. Oh, this is one of the horses. Obviously, it's missing a tail. I'm gonna make a tail or find a horse, a Timpo horse, or a Britain's detail, or crescent, or any horse that's got broken legs or a head snapped off or a stand missing, and I'll use the tail off it to replace the tail, which I've got one in a minute. I'll show you what I've done with that. Obviously, Scots Greys. There's a horse there, and I've got another. Oh, take him off there. Another one with a tail missing. The old Scots Greys. Might be a bit too grey. I'm going to experiment with the colours on this. I'll say obviously two of these horses have got the pegs on. These figures were actually DSG. I've used from a box of broken limbs. Oh, actually, looking at that sword's knackered, but I need to get a new one on that. The heads for these Scots Greys, I know it's not the exact, but it's the head from a Highlander of Britain's detail, and I thought it would just suit, because there were a couple of broken legs, weapons or arms, and these were DSG figures with missing arms, so I thought I'd cut the heads off. I actually used the heads of these figures to make the gun team and the gun and limber team Napoleonic that I made for Brian Stocker. So I've put a new arm on it. I can't remember where the arm came from, whether it's 7th Cavalry or I don't know, whichever, cowboy, Indians, whichever. Can't remember what arm come from, but glued it in place, painted it red. Obviously, I've got to paint these yet. Obviously, I'm going to take that out now because that's doing my head in, that is. Right, I'll replace that sword. I'll paint all these up. I'll put saddles on, saddle blankets. I'll put the old elastic reins on. And that, if I bring that in, so you can see a better version of it, a better picture of it. Obviously the tail's got to be done. And I've got another one here, missing arms and limbs. But I've recently done a Airfix 7th Cavalry conversion for somebody with a broken figure. I had a flag bearer and a sergeant or a captain or an officer with the pistol in the air and the sword across his chest, and I think he had a broken pistol or whatever, and I made a Airfix conversion, which I'll update on a video later. But from the cavalry figure mounted, which was broken, and the Airfix standing figure, captain, sergeant, whatever you want to call it, if you notice here, they are actually Airfix 7th Cavalry gloves, which when you compare it to the other ones, obviously I've got to paint this white and make a glove out of it. But they're the hands from that. Obviously I'm going to drill this out, which I might do a little video for. Put a sabre in his hand. Same again. Put a saddle blanket on, saddle, and the old elastic band Britain's detail reins. Put a tail on the back of that horse. This one, I've changed the arm. I can't remember which figure I took the arm from, which was a broken figure. The head again is from the Highlanders of the on foot for Britain's detail. Thought just a different take. Oh, I have done a bit of research. They did wear hat wear like similar to this, but I thought in a big battle scene with lots of other figures, there we go. And obviously I've done the old Rick's World Union Jack rather than use the Britain's Detail one. It's on the header of my Facebook page. And then he's going on that horse. No centre peg, but these will all be glued. Same again, saddle and saddle blankets. And here's an example of one that I've started making. It's Napoleon, and I've deliberately posed him so he's tilting, so the horse is trotting, so it's not straight like that, which is false in my opinion. So I've set him so the horse is leaning. And the Napoleon figure, the main figure is from Timpo mounted figures from the action packs or the Timpo 6-packs. This horse, I think, I don't know because it came from a box of bits that I got. I think it's an Airfix kit horse. The tail is actually a broken off tail from one of these Britain's Detail figures. The saddle used to come down into a point, which I've rounded off. I'm doing a bit of research. This arm is actually from another Timpo figure that was broken. So normally this figure has got an arm coming out with a sword in his hand. So I thought I'd do a Napoleonic figure riding. I've done a bit of undercoat on it, Britain's Detail base. I could straighten it up, I suppose, but I like it as it is. Got a bit more painting to do on it. I've got a bit more to do with these figures. I've got a few of these that I can do now. Obviously, Scots Grey's Napoleon opposing sides. So with a lot of other broken figures, I'm gonna see what other Napoleonics I can do. And just a quick shout out to Desmond McGovern. I am working on a few, but the conversions in between selling stuff to pay my bills, it takes a while to do all these stuff, but I will get some more out to you. All right, cheers for that. Thanks for looking. Cheers.